Hi, this Miss Melinda. Welcome to Miss Melinda's Spontaneous Smart Diva Show. How is all my subscribers and fans and students doing tonight? Are you all out having fun somewhere? It could be daytime for you. Did you take the kids swimming today? Yeah, this was the weekend. Did you have a nice weekend? Okay, we're going to cut this short. This is a short class, and I need to teach the class, and I got to go to bed. I wound up late, way later, because my tablet got too full, and I had no idea. I had like 1,000 videos and pics from a long time ago. And because I don't know a thing about this tablet. So I don't know how to look up where, when I started, February 13th approximately. Well, there's 2 introductory videos. Okay, we got to get to work because I need to get some sleep. I had to delete. The other day I deleted between 400 to 500 videos and pics, and then just now, about 45 half hour ago, it stopped me and said, I'm out of whatever storage. And so I had to get my friend that's working over there help me, because he knows all about that, and get me to where I could delete, and he got me to do that. So I need to go to bed and get some rest so that we can work again tomorrow on our show. Okay, so the name of this biology class is Jumping the Gap Between Neurons. Nerve impulses can't move directly from one neuron into another, one into another one, because neurons don't actually touch each other. Okay? Gaps, GAPS, gaps exist between the axon of one neuron and the dendrites of the next neuron. Nerve impulses must therefore, move through that gap to continue on their path through the nervous system. The gap between 2 neurons is called a synaptic cleft, C-L-E-F-T. Synaptic is S-Y, nap, like you take a nap, and tick, T-I-C. The gap between 2 neurons is called a synaptic cleft or synapse. Okay? You guys with me? Okay? Should we pull our beautiful satin silver? Isn't it pretty? Yeah, I didn't have time to put a silver earring on, or it would have looked really cute, Okay. So moving right along, the title of this one is The Gap Between 2 Neurons is called a synaptic cleft or synapse. In many invertebrate animals and in the brains of vertebrate animals, impulses are carried across synapses by electrical conduction. However, outside of the brain, such as when a neuron sends a signal to a muscle cell, nerve impulses are conducted across synapses by a series of chemical changes, which occur as follows, okay? Calcium gates open. Number 1, title. Calcium gates open. Okay. At the end of the axon from which the impulse is coming, parentheses, called the presynaptic cell, because the axon precedes the synapse, on parentheses. The membrane depolarizes, allowing the gated ion, ion, we've had that word 100 times, the gated ion channels to open so they can let in calcium ions. Let me say that one part again, because I spelled something, so you're confused. The membrane depolarizes, allowing the gated ion channels to open so they can let in calcium ions. And then there's Always two little letters, and we're just going to ignore them and keep studying and focusing on the class. So calcium ions, C, uppercase C, lowercase a, and it's down a little bit, and then up to the right, above, and to the side is a 2 and a star or a cross. Can't read it. It's real tiny in the book. Okay, number 2, synaptic vesicles release a neurotransmitter. That's the title for 2. Synaptic vesicles release a neurotransmitter when the CA2 plus or star into the end of the presynaptic axon. Synaptic vesicles connect to the presynaptic membrane, The synaptic vesicles then release a chemical called a neurotransmitter into the synapse. Okay? It's a short class. We're already on page 4. You guys with me? Are you with me? Okay? See, show our beautiful bosoms. 3. The neurotransmitter binds with receptors on the postsynaptic neuron. The chemical that serves as the neurotransmitter diffuses across the synapse and binds to proteins on the membrane of the neuron that's about to receive the impulse. The proteins serve as the receptors, and different proteins serve as receptors for different neurotransmitters. That is, neurotransmitters have specific receptors. And we're going to learn about the specific receptors right now. Okay? Okay, so number 4, excitation. Oh, we're not there yet. Okay. Excitation. This is a number 4 title. Excitation or inhibition of postsynaptic membrane occurs. That's the title. Excitation, like excited, okay? Excitation or inhibition of postsynaptic membrane occurs, okay? Whether excitation or inhibition occurs depends on what chemical served as the neurotransmitter and the result that it had, period. For example, if the neurotransmitter causes the NA star channels to open, the membrane of the postsynaptic neuron becomes depolarized and the impulse is carried through the neuron. If the K star channels open, the membrane of the postsynaptic neuron becomes hyperpolarized and the impulse is stopped dead. Okay? I've only got 3 or 4 more pages. You guys with me? You with me? Here, we'll put our balls nice and pretty. Are you guys listening? Okay? All right, here we are. We're almost done. So let's pay attention, okay? All right. If you're wondering what happens to the neurotransmitter after it binds to the receptor, here's the story, : after the neurotransmitter produces its effect, whether that effect is excitation or inhibition, it's released by the receptor. Oh, my ponytail. Okay, my ponytail was getting buried. Okay, I can't have my ponytail buried. There. I had to move back. My ponytail was getting cut off by the screen. Okay, so whether that effect is excitation or inhibition, it's released by the receptor and goes back into the synapse. In the synapse, enzymes degrade the chemical neurotransmitter into smaller molecules. Guys with me? Listening? Okay. Then the presynaptic cell, quote, recycles, unquote, the degraded neurotransmitter sending the chemicals back into the presynaptic. Okay? 3 pages left, guys. Are you with me? Okay? The title is Presynaptic Membrane. So that during the next impulse, comma, when the synaptic vesicles bind to the presynaptic membrane, comma, so that during the next impulse, comma, when the synaptic vesicles bind to the presynaptic membrane, the complete neurotransmitter can again be released. Okay? Now here is the different receptors I was telling you about, that there's different receptors. Okay? So here they are. List some, okay, the title of this is list some common neurotransmitter and their functions. Okay, so characteristics of common neurotransmitters. So here's the different receptors that I was talking about. So neurotransmitter, the first word is ACE, like Ace Hardware, ACE. Okay, ACE, like Ace Hardware, one word, ACE, TYL, tile, and then CH, so like a che sound, O, and then line, like stand in line. So ACE, cholin, ACE, tile, cholin, ACE, cholin. I spelled it a few times. Google it. Ask them to pronounce it for you and the spelling. But have a pen and paper, hopefully. I tell you guys all the time. So that acetylcholine has between neurons, the source. Oh, it says the source to that word I've been saying. Secreted at gaps between neurons and muscle cells. That's the source for that neurotransmitter, acetylcholine. The source of it is secreted at gaps between neurons and muscle cells. The next neurotransmitter word is dopamine. We've all heard of dopamine, okay? You guys with me? All right. Dopamine, the source, very simple. The dopamine and the source for dopamine created from amino acids. Well, how can we forget that? We've all heard of dopamine, and the source it comes from is created from amino acids. That's easy. And the next word is going to be the same source. This one's epi, E-P-I. I learned in college means around everything, around something. So epi, this next neurotransmitter rhetoric is epi, and then N for Nick, E for Edward, PH we always get, and then R-I-N-E. Epinephrine. I'm pronouncing the PH like an F. That's the only way I can see it. Epinephrine. Okay, that's a neurotransmitter, the third word, and its source also comes created from amino acids. So epinephrine and dopamine both have the same source. They come created from amino acids, both of those words together. Now we have no rep, like a representative, no rep, pine, like a pine tree, but only one P, and freen again, PH with an F sound to me, freen, P-H-R-I-N-E, no rep being freen, and its source released by postganglionic. And I just taught you this last class or the class before. So for norepinephrine, the source it comes from is released by, now this is one long word, but it's simple, postganglionic. So post, like post something at the post office, gang, like gangs in the street, lions, like wild lions that roar, and I-C, ick, at the end. See how easy that is to remember? It's one word, postganglionic. postganglionic. So this neurotransmitter, norepinephrine, its source is released by postganglionic, okay? And then the next word is serotonin. Well, we've all heard of serotonin too, but I wouldn't know a thing about it, but I do know the word. So the serotonin is produced through enzymatic reaction involuntarily. Yeah. It's tryptophan. Isn't tryptophan what's in turkey and makes you tired? Tryptophan? Well, we've heard of the word. So the serotonin is its source, where it comes from, is produced through enzymatic involving, okay. Serotonin, I got it now. Serotonin produced through enzymatic reaction involving, I wrote it in shorthand and this thick marker kind of can mess it up. So the serotonin, the source they produce through enzymatic reaction involving tryptophan. Now we got it, okay? The teacher has to make sure she has all the info correct for her students, or there will be no students in class, right? Okay, the characteristics of, now the magic marker all bled together. The characteristic of, let me try my glasses. We're on the last page, guys, okay? And what am I trying to read? Oh, here. Characteristics, of common. It's common. Okay. The characteristics of common neurotransmitters, okay? The word is, okay, these are the words we just had, but it's only shown, I don't know if that's all of them. I think so. Okay, so here's characteristics of common neurotransmitter. This is the characteristic, the function. It's the function, yeah. The title is called The Characteristics of Common Neurotransmitters. So we're still doing receptors and transmitters from the last page, okay? But now we're doing, for all the words I just taught you, the source, where they come from, I'm going to teach you those same words, but it's going to be their function, okay? So we're doing the same words again, but instead of the source where they come from, I'm going to teach you the function of each of these words. And there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, and it goes real quick. Okay, so Tylenol. Just Google it, and watch this class over and over. I told you I'm not going to go on and on about the spelling and pronunciation because I just did it, okay? So we won't be able to concentrate unless we just move on now. So I explained it's the same words, but instead of where it came from, sources, it's the function of the words. Okay, so acetylcholine function stimulates or inhibits contractions of muscles depending on receptor. Okay, dopamine. The function of the dopamine affects movement, emotion, and feelings of pleasure, and plays an important role in drug addiction. Now, did you hear that? I didn't know all that. I have heard of this, I've heard of I know the word dopamine, yeah, but I couldn't have given you this the answer of the function, but it sounds like something I heard of, about dopamine. So dopamine affects movement. Your movement, are you guys listening to me? Okay? And it affects your emotion and feelings of pleasure, and plays an important role in drug addiction, because like heroin and coke can produce a lot of dopamine, and it makes you really go into a euphoric high. And that's how you get addicted to drugs. So that's why they said it plays a important role in drug addiction, because it expands and it reproduces higher levels of dopamine. I'm telling you this out of my head. Heroin and cocaine reproduce higher levels of dopamine. Okay, that's how you get addicted to the heroin and coke and some other drugs that do that. But I'm not going to go there. I'm so sick of talking about drugs and alcohol. We're not even going there. Okay, so let's get a wrap on this class. We got 3 last words. Epinephrine and its function is responsible for fight or flight syndrome. And I'm going to tell you out of my own head, Sigmund Freud is the doctor that came up with the theory, the fight or flight syndrome, and what it means. That's what this epinephrine does, is responsible for fight or flight syndrome. It means if you're coming at me, threatening me, I'll either fight you. If I got a lot of confidence, I can kick your ass, or if I know I can't overpower you and I'm scared to death and I know that you're going to win, I'm going to turn and run. That's flight. So you either fight if you have the confidence, or you run. Well, I would run. I would want to run no matter what, because I wouldn't want to get into a physical fight, period, All right, 2 more words. Norepinephrine, and we had that word a little bit ago. And the function of the norepinephrine, just watch the class again, and you'll hear the word better, and Google it. So that norepinephrine, P-H-R-I-N-E, increases blood pleasure. Oh, weird. Increases blood. No, I would say it's saying increasing blood pressure. I accidentally wrote increases blood pleasure. No, it's got to mean, so this norepinephrine increases blood pressure, not pleasure. Blood doesn't get pleasure, not like that. Not like that way. It increases blood pressure. Okay, and serotonin, the last word which we've heard, its function is to regulate sleep, calms anxiety, affects sex behavior. Serotonin, I don't know, you'll have to Google how serotonin affects your sex behavior. I don't plan to have any sex. I'm sorry, but I'm kind of, I'd have to be dating somebody for a year, Yeah, but anyway, serotonin regulates sleep, calms anxiety, affects sex behavior. Okay, so that's the end of that class, guys. Did you understand? I think it was pretty easily understandable, don't you? I think so. So I need to get some rest. Yeah, I've been up, and I need to get some rest. So I'm gonna let you guys go instead of chit-chatting after class today, okay? Okay, so those of you who haven't subscribed, will you please subscribe and hit my like button, please? And I want you to know I love all my fans and all my subscribers, okay, and students, and I will see you next class. Have a nice day or night. Good night.